Hello, hello.
Gritzlop, you with us? How we doing?
Doing good.
Glad to have you up. And just I'll prerequisite with this. If you want, you'll be able to share your screen and demo the entire platform for us if you'd like. But Gritzlop, maybe this is Ape Vesting. Okay, so Ape Vesting, maybe give us an idea of who you are, your background, and get into what you're building.
Sure thing. So I'm Ape Vesting. I'm the dev for Grid. What the fuck. I've been in the space for I've been in
Good.
the
What the
space
fuck?
I've been in the space since 2020. Around like 2021, I had the opportunity to work on one of the first staking protocols, staking.io. If you are a Solana vet, basically it was a platform that allowed you to look at validators on a list, see what the rewards are, make your account and basically have like a rewards account. It's basically the easiest way to stake. My co-founder Nimbus, we basically met at a Bitcoin ATM company a few years ago and have had the chance to work on dexes and other various crypto products. So we've been friends for around like 4 or 5 years now, working on different projects. He's been doing the marketing and ops, and then I'm kind of just purely development, product, things like that.
Very cool. So long term crypto background.
Absolutely.
Love it. You were gonna keep going. I just had to throw it in.
Yep. So at the during the breakout Coliseum, I actually won number one in DAO's track for a project called Alpha FC. We ended up getting we got a VC check from Coliseum. So we were a part of one of their first accelerators, and that's been going on ever since. Kind of like in the background. So yeah, Grid is essentially like 4 months old. Been grown organically. We launched in anticipation for the hackathon that I won was the Radar Hackathon. The one that we launched, Grid, was for Breakout Hackathon, and we ended up getting an honorable mention. And yeah, just kind of been growing organically for about 4 months now, and building out this product.
Okay, cool. It looks like Josh has the platform up.
Yeah, I'll also pull it up as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, walk us through, guys. I'm really curious what this is. On your X, you say, actually, I'll go back to your X here. It mentions money making operating system. What does that mean?
So for us, we kind of had this epiphany around 2 or 3 weeks ago where we essentially, our first sort of V1 was this infinite canvas. And what the infinite canvas does is just allows you to utilize crypto products. You put up Swap, you put up YouTube, you put up, a crypto heat map, and allows you to kind of like trade in this infinite canvas, put all these screens into one. So you're not going between like platform to platform. We have Telegram, we have like Lulu Earn. There's going to be like different LPs, and we're kind of just plopping this all together. Our V1 people really didn't like. So around a few of, we didn't really have like good product market fit. We're doing all these updates, people aren't liking the updates, and you could see that visibly with our market cap. So a few weeks ago, we decided to kind of pivot a bit and create this unified trading platform called the MMOS, essentially the money making operating system. Nice. Now, what this does is it essentially aggregates sort of all the degenerate metas that are currently happening at the moment. So, we have prediction markets, we have the CCM meta, you have crypto in general, like meme coins, alpha scan, things like that, Pokemon, as well as, stocks and so on and so forth. So, we kind of created this backend system that, streams all this data, real-time news, pump fund streams in real time, and, make it visible for users all on one interface. So it's taking that infinite canvas where, people can create whatever, do whatever, and kind of structuring it down, putting them into an Axiom-like platform, and, allowing people to traverse through different metas, all within the same interface.
So how do you find a meta? I'm just looking at this right now. I see an order book. There's
So what you're seeing now is essentially our predictions aggregation. So this pulls up the different markets from Kalshi, from Polymarket. We use Privy for our wallet integration, which allows you to use Solana and Ethereum. And, Ethereum or I think Polygon is being used for Polymarket. So it allows you to basically move between like Solana and Ethereum all within one interface and, make these trades once trading goes live.
Okay, I'm seeing your chart had an uptick clearly, or at least I would assume that's probably from the prediction market side that you added to this. Would you say so?
Yeah, so around the time we started introducing our MMOS, we did a video where we were basically just kind of like apologizing to the community, for kind of the direction that we were going in, which obviously wasn't the right one. And we decided to, take that ethos that we had of like combining all these metas, into one system and kind of build it into a trading, a unified trading interface.
Okay, so there are a few powerful things you said. Firstly,
Hold on.
being able to take community feedback and pivot is very important. Number two, you guys could have just abandoned the project at that point. You're getting poor feedback. You're anonymous. It looks like. Is your entire team anonymous?
Yeah, we're anonymous for the most part. I mean, like if you look at like Alliance DAO, their last season that they started doing recording for like new startups, you'll probably see my face in there. But like we're kind of like pseudo anonymous, I guess. But
okay, so I guess I bring this up because you guys could have walked away. You chose not to. And I hope I'm not coming off the wrong way. Like, why is that? Why did you choose to stick with the community, write out this token, make it work?
I mean, I guess just being hard-headed for one. We've like gone through a lot of like different mental strains in terms of like lack of feedback. When the price wasn't good, we've kind of reached out to like Bonk Fun and like Heaven Dex when it was going around and try and, figure out a way to migrate, kind of get to a new community. But really, like, we kind of like sat down and thought to ourselves that like the problem really is us. Like, we're building something that people ultimately don't want. And like, our market cap is indicative of that. So, we have this infinite canvas. We have this, this idea of giving infinite opportunity to people. So let's just like, come back again, think of a different route we can go. We see all these metas going on at one time and we want to have a hand in them. So, we come up with the unified trading interface.
Okay. How do you keep your finger on the pulse here in finding the new hot metas? Are you guys just in the trenches? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, we're trench warriors. I mean, we've kind of been in the Solana space, like via when it was like NFTs were the popular thing. When people were doing sort of Ohm clones. So we've kind of been around. We see like the metas. We're very tapped into the ecosystem. I'm followed by a lot of kind of like OG Solana vets. So like we see everything, and like it's kind of visible to see like what the meta is at the moment. Like a lot of stuff's happening with Pokemon, a lot of stuff's happening with the CCM and predictions. Like you could kind of, if you pretty much open your eyes, you can see like what the meta is. And most times people aren't tapped into like the new meta or know how to begin. Like Aster just came out. And people are scrambling to get on the Aster train, the perps train, to get that airdrop that they're going to be announcing in October. So like we kind of want to build that out for people. So like the next Aster that comes out, they'll be able to interact with it on our platform, kind of in one sort of singular space.
So you're helping the rotators to find where the liquidity flow is going, because that's ultimately what you're doing, is finding where liquidity is flowing. And where does that, like, so I see on your show you got the spirit of gambling. Like, what?
Yeah, this is
how does it manifest itself on the screen of like, oh, I know where the liquidity is going because I'm looking at this kind of thing?
So we basically gather all the information, we clean it up, sanitize it, and put it into a chart for people to see. So like for our feed, for example, it's essentially like, or for the CCM streams, for example, it's essentially like alpha scan, something that you see on like Axiom, where it's like, these recently created tokens. So it's enabling discovery. It's enabling you to see the liquidity and also track it in real time. With our news, which is going to get fleshed out, we have real time news from like a bunch of sources, from Crypto, CBS, Fox, MLB, NFL, Reddit. We have car stuff. We have Kalshi, Polymarket. We're going to be adding like a lot more like Twitter/profile monitors. And this kind of all feeds into the platform. And, you get suggestions based off of, let's say Soul's pumping. You can see it in real time. Why? You can see the articles. Why? You can kind of follow everything all within one space in a nice and clean, cut format.
So my question with this, I got two questions. Firstly, have you reached out to Kalshi or Polymarkets? They've been leaning into crypto pretty heavy and funding, sponsoring, working with people that are building products on top of their, existing prediction markets. Have you guys talked to them?
Absolutely. We have reached out to Kalshi, and we are in the process of reaching out to Polymarket as well. It's just pretty much just getting back to us. But we definitely are trying to, show them that we are willing to build on top of them. And, hopefully, our backing and our community can, help show that.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that add a lot of interest to certain projects. And that kind of follows up into my next question, distribution. How do you get this in the hands of people that are looking to interact on these platforms and websites, trade prediction markets, trade crypto, do CCM? Like, how do you get that in front of people? Do you talk to Axiom? Do you talk to Photon? Try to get your terminal integrated? Like, tell me about that.
I don't think we actually have gotten in contact with Axiom, but they kind of ghosted us like a few months ago. We got into contact with them ever since our platform originally, ever since we released our V1 for the Infinite Canvas. We wanted to allow people to use Axiom within our platform, but we really never got to that point. So, instead of kind of going to them and, getting us integrated, we're just going to build the platform. We're going to build out the features ourselves. We're going to build out that real-time trading, seeing your buying and selling, all of that within our platform. So
that brings me back to the question, how do you get to where the users are at? Or how do you get the users onto your platform? Either or.
You essentially just reach out to them. You do sort of cashback deals, sort of like what all these trading platforms do. You do deals with them. You do give them cashback, give them kickback, and kind of go from there. Go to the degens, go to the people who are interested in this niche. We're going to be creating the best product for each of these niches, and then you kind of go from there. They see that predictions are really good, and they're like, oh, I kind of want to get into crypto as well. They can do that all within the same platform.
And how would you say interest has picked up since you kind of made this pivot?
It's honestly exploded. Our inboxes are crazy. We kind of locked down everything in this private beta, Grid 2.0. People who give us feedback, we're giving Grid to them, kind of rewarding them for like actionable feedback this time around. Pretty much putting the token first, and yeah, it's really exploded. A lot of people are interested in what we're building, and see a lot of value in it.
Love it. What's next? What's on the roadmap? What are you most excited for?
Roadmap right now is getting prediction markets trading and CCM streaming trading live. We have a really awesome rewards and referral system that we're going to be coming out with soon. And, beta testers will be one of the first few people to get rewarded, not only for testing, but also, be able to get their referral code out there to, earn permanent fees from people trading within the platform. So that's kind of like our biggest thing right now. We have a little bit of Pokemon stuff going on. We're in private DMs with the founder of Fidgetals. So, just a lot of exciting stuff coming soon.
That's awesome. Fidgetals is super sick. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. I'll be excited. What about tokenomics? How does your token work? What's the point of holding it if I'm trying to invest?
Gotcha. So when we first launched, we did a 90-10 split. We have like 10% in a stream flow kind of contract right now that's just locked for I think until next year. And we also do have we did do some supply control early on. You know how that goes with a lot of these low caps, just trying to get enough supply from like whales, from personal to, keep like a good floor. Those will be used for either like strategic partners, VCs, or rewards for the community. Right now, for the past few months, we have been testing some burn mechanisms for grid. So, to keep it deflationary, we're going to allow people to stake their grid to unlock several different features. We have AI that's coming out, which will be able to automate amongst, kind of all these metas, find what you need, give you the information for what you need. So right now we're like trying to find the best mechanism in terms of like, either we're burning, locking, or, doing we do buybacks. So just kind of find the right mechanism, talking to our community, being very vocal about what we're trying to accomplish and how we foresee it. And, going from there, we want to offer the best cashback rewards. We want to offer the best, referral system we can, and kind of keep the community first. We see
finding the right fit.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Let's give the people a good place to come and find you if they want to get more information, keep up to date. Where can people find you to best keep updated?
You can join our Twitter or X at grid.whatthefuck. You can also join in our Telegram. We're very vocal. We do updates literally since we started this project. We do updates every day, or if every other day. You can track our Twitter, see like all the tweets that we've gone, all the iterations, all the, the work that has gone into, finding product market fit. So, if you're interested, you can follow us.
We love it. Thanks for coming on. I'll be looking forward to how you develop this platform.
Awesome. Thank you.